Hey, what is up, folks? Jorge Anito here. Thanks for stopping by and welcome back. My friends, today we're going to talk about and show application for these guys right here. What this basically is a Joker, right? With a card reveal in it. And you'll find these in various decks. In fact, I'm going to share several decks with you in this video. But one thing is important and pertinent for our situation today, and that is these decks not only have to include one of these Joker reveals, but there also needs to be an identical Joker where the reveal is absent from his hand. Oddly worded and poorly said. These reveals can be a lot of fun. They're almost like designers who choose to include these in the decks, it's almost like a built-in kicker ending, or at least a built-in effect, right? Just an example of how one of these might be used. You might have a card forced. Obviously, you'll need to have the card forced because there's only one specific reveal on, the Joker. You have it forced, lose it, whatever. Maybe you have the Jokers thrown out of the deck. And, they get down to the end and you be like, hey, here's your card. And they're like, no, it's not. It's a Joker. Oh, look a little closer, right? So that's probably the most typical. I like to take it a bit further. In fact, the whole idea behind this video is being able to take one of those little reveals and visually rip it out of a card, or out from the card, leaving yourself with the clean duplicate, right? And then the, whatever the reveal card is. In this case would be the Three of Spades. Three of Clubs, actually. So, yeah, it's just, and this became something of interest for me quite some time ago. In fact, I actually featured a couple videos. One of them called, I think, Joker Extractor, as well as episode 2 of the Slight Off in my performance, an effect I call Little Help here. Maybe you'll remember, I'll leave a link in the description. I throw out the Jokers. After a series of phases, the spectator selection is lost and found and all this. And at the end, the spectator chooses a Joker, kind of stab it in the deck, right? And then pull it out only to reveal that, hey, the Joker has actually found your card this time. But not only that, maybe if we could just take this card and then we rip the Joker, or the reveal out from the Joker. So anyway, the inspiration behind this and the interest behind this first started when I saw a video by Takumi Takahashi. In fact, it's only a minute long. Why don't we go ahead and check it out and review it right now? Actually, before we check out Takumi's performance, I want to show you what exactly he's using. He's basically using these exact cards right here. Now, I'm not going to reveal how he does the effect. I think some of it will be apparent when we check out the video. But essentially, it's just a cheap Cardamundi deck. Now, this isn't the same one that he uses. However, these Joker cards and this third Joker with this reveal, these three cards are included in Takumi's deck. So when I first saw this, a long time ago, I was very intrigued with how he done it. And so, while we're at it, since I have all these out, here's just a few examples of other decks that do feature this. On the cheaper side of things, we have Illusionist Artifice. Now, this will probably get you by, but the reveal is really minimal. It's almost kind of hard to see. But nonetheless, there's one. We also have the Turtleback Tally Hose by King's Wild Project. This deck, I think, came out in 2013, so it's an old one. But that just has a really bold reveal on it. I like this one a lot. These cards are really durable, too, by the way. Endearing design. This deck right here is a newer deck called the Vitrios, and I think... Actually, I don't know. There's some guy who... Oh, I guess I could just... Okay, created by Jeremy Griffith and Adrian Valenzuela. Anyway, this Joker is one of my favorites. I mean, that is just beautiful right there. We have the Ten of Spades, Jeremy Griffiths, favorite card there. And, you know, just a clean reveal. And obviously, you know, none in the other one. We got the Cardamundi one. Now, this is important. This is also cheaper. This is like $3 a deck. But it has to be the jumbo face. I have a pack of the standard classic playing cards by Cardamundi. It does not feature this Gaff card. Now, what's cool about this is, now you'll notice you have this red thing up here, this little emblem. You have a black one, and then on the reveal, it has the black one. Now, I wish they wouldn't have included this border going around it, but that's not a deal breaker. So anyway, these little things will be important when we watch Takumi's performance. And one of my absolute favorites is the Black Roses Innocence playing cards. Just a lovely, elegant design. Check out that card reveal just there with the Ace of Hearts. Samurai Sword just stabbing through the Ace of Hearts. Very cool right here. So that's just a few examples. Leave a comment in the down below if you guys know of any other decks that include both a card reveal on a Joker and also, you know, a duplicate. It doesn't have to be necessarily a Joker. You know, it could be like this one right here. This isn't a Joker. This is a King of Diamonds. But then that kind of complicates things. Well, not very much, but it kind of adds a little bit more consideration to your effect, because then if you're doing some kind of sandwich effect, you know, you can't use two King of Diamonds. You have to use like a King of Hearts or something, and you know, introduce the card with the reveal on it at some point. And you know what, the same is kind of true for this one too. You know, here are two clean Jokers, and this is just a Gaff Joker right here. So special considerations when there is cards like these.
Two jokers, red and black. そしたらじゃあ1枚引いちゃってください。好きなところ。いいじゃんいいじゃん。で中に戻して好きなところ。はい。じゃあこのカード、中に入れて戻しちゃいます。そしたら赤か黒、red or black。Which one? Black. Good. Black joker. Now. This joker. 取って好きなところに入れちゃう。中にジョーカー入って。Watch. ゆっくり。ででん。Style your card. And now this joker. Bye-bye.
Was that not the coolest thing one of the coolest things you've ever seen with one of those type of cards? And like I said, these are the exact cards that he's using. Now the back design is different. I still can't figure out what deck he's using, but I have found a deck of cards that feature these exact you know, cards that he used. Anyway, long story short, this sparked an interest, and I found so many ways since my original viewing of that video, ways of just ripping the Joker from the card. Now, obviously, what Takumi is doing, you know, some forcing and stuff like this. You know, he kind of used Magician Force in order to get rid of the red one, because he does need to be left with the black one. Right, little load there. Kind of shows that, hey, you pick this, ends up basically loading it through a series of things that I can't discuss here. Places on the deck, then he puts the Joker with the reveal in. He kind of gives you one last look at it, pulls it out, ta-da. And yeah, then he comes in, you know, while the girl's looking at it, he's coming in and he has the other cards palmed. You know, the time misdirection is a big thing. Comes in, flips the cards over, ditches the one, and then rips them. And so I thought, man, that's a great idea. I love that. And but I want to do it more visually. And so I'm going to give you 2 ways in which I perform this with a fair amount of regularity, and they are really visual. So let's go ahead and get into it right. Okay, so I'll spare you the routine, the actual effect. My purpose is to discuss right when we're down here at the end. The spectator sees that, hey, the Joker has found their card, and but what if we could actually get their card to come right off the Joker? Now, this is a very simple use of the paintbrush color change, and of the 2 methods, this is the easiest, and I wanted to do that first, obviously for that reason. But you have to wind up in a very specific situation, and that is you have the card reveal. The Joker with the card reveal will be on top, followed by whatever reveal. This case, the Ace of Hearts. This will be turned over like that, and you have the clean Joker on the bottom. So now how you wind up in this situation when you're at the end of an effect and you kind of need to do this setup is really up to you. However, like I said, I have left 2 links to 2 very different distinct performances where I utilize these, and so you could kind of maybe check those for reference to see how, give you an idea how I kind of maneuver my way into this setup. But it's very easy. Once you're in this situation, you also have to be aware, you have to be mindful of the orientation of the Jokers. You don't want to be left like I was in the Slight Off episode 2. I kind of did it in a way where, I tried to move past it. But anyway, you want the 2 Jokers to both be going the same way, right? So this is your setup. It's basically, you're kind of holding it like a triple lift in a way. And you're just doing the paintbrush color change. What's happening is you're depositing both cards onto the deck and only holding on to the bottom card, which is the clean Joker, right? And it's just as simple as whenever you're doing this action right here, I take my thumb and just kind of go forward with it, and I retract my index finger, and that just kind of peels those 2 cards off. At the same time, I come up like this, and that's it. I mean, it's just supposed to be done real quick. This is the end of the effect, but you say, you know what, we really need to kind of end clean, and so what if we just take your card right directly off of the Joker? So that is the number 1 way that I would rip a reveal out of a Joker. Here's the second one. Now this one is a little bit more knacky, but it is pretty fun if you get it. You just take and you just drop the card right directly off onto the deck, leaving yourself with a clean Joker. Now here's the thing. The setup is exactly the same as before, being mindful of the orientation of the Jokers. And what you're doing is kind of grabbing this card in such a way, the same thing essentially is happening. Instead of this action right here, you're instead going to push off 2 cards and drop like that. So yeah, the timing has to be just right. And like I said, this is supposedly the end of the effect. And you just kind of take it in your hand and just say something to the effect. But what if we could just take your card, and like I said, you just kind of, you're doing this action where you're just dropping the card off from, out from your hand, right? And I'm just doing kind of the same thing. I'm pushing forward with the thumb in order to split. It's kind of like that ghost count, or the, whatever that is, where you're pushing over a small block of cards. In this instance, 2 cards. Why do I not have the orientation right? Okay. Yeah, so you just kind of, in the action of coming up and then coming down, you're pushing that card over. I'm retracting ever so slightly with my index. And I'm releasing the thumb and allowing it to kind of flip off that card. And that's the situation you're left in. Yeah, that one's a little more involved, but it is fun to practice. Definitely is. And if I could just throw in a quick bonus, I can't teach this one because I'm not that good at it, but it's the idea of doing a snap change and being left clean. So something to this effect, right? Where you, one of those. So if you guys can figure that out, it'd be really cool to see somebody do that. I saw Dan and Dave do that on, let's see, was it Twin Split Remix? I don't know. They do so many crazy things. But anyway, guys, there you have it. That's how, a couple ways how I like to rip reveals out of Joker cards. So I hope you enjoyed that. Have a good weekend. Jorge Anito here, signing off. Peace, be blessed, and all the rest of it.